4:30 Pacific on the Sea Smoke slash Facebook listening. So you already know. Tune in. Welcome. I am G. Mike Reed, and it's time for the G. Mike Show. Time for the G. Mike Show. Time G. Mike Show. Yes, my brother.
All right, we on? Hello, 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Greetings, greetings.
All right, you hear me, right?
I hear you, lovely sir.
All
I'm
right,
just we are waiting for your guests to come in, but in the meantime, the stage is yours.
all right, wonderful. As per normal, we're here. We do this every Saturday at 2:30 Belize time, and we are in the jewel. We want to thank everyone who tune in and give us an air. We have a very exciting guest today, and uh, let us hope everything works out because given technology and all this ups and downs, vicissitudes and whatnot, things do come up from time to time. I want to remind folks that we are still full steam ahead with our swap meet flea market for September. We're giving ourselves enough time to prepare for this and get it done right. We'll be showcasing. Let me get that glare out of there and shift over here a little bit. That's right. We will be having all kinds of good stuff to sell, and we're asking people abroad, our friends in the diaspora, to assist us in whatever way they can. Give us a little old thing we got in a house that we think no good, but somebody else might use. Remember, states old that believes new, and many times people are anxious to get their hands on things that they can't normally afford. So if we can give them at an affordable price, and at the same time raise a little funds to forward our projects. Today we're actually in the park with the big machinery, dropping some clay and stuff, filling up a little area behind the football field where we're not going further as such, but there's some trees and stuff back there where we have to fill up in between and where we hope to have some of the stands that people will be selling from. So we're hoping to get this all prepared. We know that we've entered the rainy season. So with the Galley extension as it is, today already what is it, 11th, I believe, of June, and we're moving forward. The rainy season officially starts June 1st. You know that, and it's been raining a bit, but it has given us a few days of dry, which I believe we'll be able to get in some of the filling and get it spread and whatnot. Um, Hopefully before the real rain comes in. Because when the real rain come in, not much you could do. Everything is flooded, everything is soft and soggy. Once that ground gets saturated, forget it. You're not going to do any kind of filling like that. In fact, the people that bring the material can't even get it from the quarry because it's kind of sticky and messed up there. We're hoping today, and we had a commitment from the brother that he would be joining us today, and we and I want to call the name in case the man is join with. Then we have to get CY and talk to him because CY could give you a lot of information also. We're a little over time because we like to stay on schedule. We begin this at 2:30. We've had some very interesting guests in the past, and we look forward to a lot more interesting guests. We try to expose issues here, cover issues that we people will find interesting, give different perspectives, deal with, of course, the Belize diaspora divide, the Belizeans at home and those in diaspora. We have been apart too long. We're too small a nation for this. We need every hand on board here, in particular as we go into our ICJ issue and hoping to get this drafted nuisance out of the way, the claim that is, and the Guatemalan claim, of course, unfounded claim. Nevertheless, they have for a long time been breathing down our necks. We have England standing by, and they have been our protector. One of the main reasons I am not in favor of removing the Queen from our money. Barbados has done it, and Jamaica is planning on doing it, but they don't have any neighbor, hostile neighbor that's trying to take over their territory. We do, but we have been here that long. If we're talking about if only squatters' rights, they're not going to move us from this land. And we are going to do the best we can to go by the legal means. But if we have to fight, trust me, I believe we will get enough people to put up a hell of a fight. I don't think they want that because guerrilla warfare, we have all the hills and mountains and whatnot, and we know our terrain. So we now want to go that route there, but I believe that the courts will render justice, and that beliefs will be free and independent well into the future. So let us continue to be vigilant. Let us keep those abroad. And I'll tell you where an African once told me when South Africa was fighting apartheid and trying to free themselves from that evil. And I said to him, how can the ordinary person out here help? We're not there in Africa. What can we do? And his response was just be aware, stay aware, and understand that Africa is where the African is. Wherever you are, you take your country with you in your heart. You, those of you from Belize who are still in love with Belize, we know there are some who have signed off on us, but that's all right. There's enough of us to continue. And there are many who, while they're away, are still here at home in their hearts. Belize is in their heart. Previous guest, Leonard Brackett, was telling us the other day that he believes he'll die with his Belizean passport on his chest. He even refuses to become a U.S. citizen. That is applaudable. Those who become U.S. citizens, then, we understand that also because there's a matter of bettering yourself as such. And everybody wants to do that. But please remember that Belize is yours. And home, as they say, is where you can go and they can never tell you you cannot come in. We are all Belizeans. I see the screen got split. I'm
Yes, I'm
hoping.
here. I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
We still waiting on our guest. I'm not gonna call no name either. But I just spoke to him a few minutes ago, so he's
Okay.
trying to lock it in. You
All
know.
right. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is he's trying to get on though. He will
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Yeah.
you know how we do it. It's
You know how we do it.
we're gonna do a full hour show.
Yeah. Yeah.
This brother is very interesting, and
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this because I'd
Yeah.
like to speak to him on a number of issues. No,
Okay. Okay.
uh, we we like to make it interesting, CY, and I
Yeah.
applaud you for creating this venue
Yeah,
and
man.
this forum where
I
people can
can't. I
tune
can't.
in.
Only reason I could see so far is that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, man. I mean, I'm not here by myself, like you just stated. I cannot do this
Well,
by myself, so I appreciate you guys too. And
well,
on that point, let me say before we move on, best wishes to Arlette. She's a little under the weather, you know what I mean. So we had to cancel her. So from all of us here in the studio, and of course, you know what I mean, all our viewers and listeners, and we would like to convey our best wishes to her. Hope she recover quick, and that's what it is right now, you know.
well, as we know, CY, Arlette is a fighter.
Yeah,
She's gonna do her very best. Life throws curves at you. And the straight ball don't always come, and some of us get wider curves than others. But like I always tell my kids, the ball don't always come to your mitt, but the best players and the most exciting players are the ones where you have to dive for it, where you have to put in an extra effort.
yeah,
So people like Arlette put in that extra effort, and I think
yeah,
she'll be all right. But we do wish her her best. Those of
yeah,
you who are given to prayer, please say a few prayers for
yeah,
Arlette, and
yeah,
let's hope for the best. And
yeah,
her show was starting to pick up, man. She was really
yeah, yeah,
getting some
yeah, yeah,
exciting guests and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah,
And in fact, I was a bit nervous about following her Because a big
Yeah.
big footstep she'd put there, no?
That's true.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
but
That's true. That's true. Yeah, true.
we'll
That's true.
do the best we
Yeah,
can,
she's
and
commendable. She's commendable,
yeah,
my boy,
man,
for real.
she's doing
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
love her. I
what's
love her.
up, see? Why how's
And how's what? Talk
you
to
how
me.
things up there in New York? Did it get cool yet?
Yeah, yeah. Nah, man. Yeah, you know the way we expect it to be, but not
Actually,
cold, not cold.
you're just getting into summer, right?
Yeah, we just know
So
about getting to summer, but that Janko no summer, you know what I mean?
why New York?
Global warming change everything around, G Mike. For real.
I
So,
don't know. It's always the globe has always been changing.
yeah,
So but I
yeah.
that part
Natural
I,
mistake. Yeah.
but the thing with New York, I love New York, but New York, boy, you better not plan nothing in the summer because it will rain every weekend.
Yeah, it only rain per weekend.
Man,
Saturday, I don't understand it sometimes. I say, man,
yeah,
look at.
it's nice all week, you know.
Yeah,
But I never plan no barbecue, my boy, because
yeah.
right away.
Rain.
So, but that one wonderful
Yeah.
city, man. So nice
Yeah,
they
man.
named it twice. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We good over here. I mean to say, I just want to say respect to everybody out in Brooklyn. I spoke to Miss Barbara a little while ago, you know what I mean? And she's doing well too. And Franz Fairweather, our previous guest,
Right.
said to
Butch,
say hi to everybody. But
nobody know
yeah,
him
but
as France. You only
well,
you
you know,
one call him France.
yeah, that's senior to me, man. That's why I know as a man,
Butch.
all them boy.
Everybody know Butch as Butch. We had an exciting show last week, actually.
Yeah, I
and
loved it. I loved
I
it.
look
Yeah, I
forward
loved
to
it.
that.
Yeah, I look forward to that too.
And these guys, we have to bring them back from time to time, no?
Of course. It would
Cover
make
a
sense.
few,
It would make a lot of sense.
because there are a lot of issues that come up from time to time that needs fleshing out. They
Yes,
need
and you
people,
can't do it in an hour.
but it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
But,
and then guys got
But then the things that happen, like as time goes on, different things come up, and there are issues that you need to flesh out again
Yeah, it
and
needs to be
discuss
addressed.
with
Of
people
course,
who are
of
thinkers. You know what I'm saying? And these are guys who are thinkers.
I agree.
We're all able to think, but I know that all of us think as deeply as we ought to. But you have some guys who are out there who are have on a cap all the time, boy. And
true.
When they talk, you get to a real view of the issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get understanding where you can add to your own understanding.
Yes, of course,
and I look forward to talking to guys saying like, no, man,
yeah.
You know,
and Leonardo, Leonardo.
Yeah, we got a number of guys lined up.
Yeah, got a number of guys lined up. That's coming up, you know. It look like Mr. Bilal is trying to have problems with this thing. I don't know what's going on yet.
Given that, and that's what I'm saying, you know, the internet, I know a perfect science. You kind of like know where you get from time to time.
Yep.
Again, I hope he's not trying on his phone, but I did tell him when I spoke to him.
Yeah, I think he said he was going to get into his studio and do it. I think that's what he's trying to do now, instead of the phone, you know.
Well, listen, we take our time when he come on.
Take your time, man. Yeah, man. One of the other things I wanted to ask you was, how was the trip to Pomona, man?
Boy,
I got a few pictures, man. I got to pull them up. Let me see.
Man, it was amazing, brother. It was amazing.
Talk about that.
And actually, the team just went out and won again to the 3-0. They in our competition playing at MCC, right? The last 3 games has been 5-0, 6-0, and now 3-0. They not score up, and the goalkeeper say bored.
Wow.
Goalkeeper is bored. No, no ball him to reach because the defense tight.
Yeah, he dig it. That's what's up.
In fact, we're gonna Pomona and ladies say we don't have to careful, you know, because them boy play ball every day, all day, they up on the field. They know how to play ball. I say, and a little bigger than we and whatnot.
Yeah.
But boy, we gonna squad when you see them boy play, you know. Them boy then they pass the ball. And then they play defense. They really play good ball.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of the parents went along on this trip. We usually rent only 15-seater, but this time we're getting a 54-seater. And we full it up. So we gone up there and we had a good time. Then after the game, they feed we like kings. Then really see there's somebody I think I'm sending you some pictures with the banquet. And of course the Minister of Sports, Rajwell Ferguson, dropped in. And there he is. And we had after that they took us down to the river where they have and the river not deep. There's a shallow river where all the youngsters could get in and
Okay.
take a good soak without nobody have to work. There you go.
Yeah.
No, that a fun. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish I could do it, but if I get down there, I can't get back up, boy. You know, I may have to go, yeah, put a rope on the bus and pull me out or something, right? So, but
You come
I
better
had
on.
I had my time. I had my
Yeah,
time,
yeah, I know Twitter.
and I had fun watching them. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
boy,
yeah,
I
yeah.
see a familiar face on the screen.
Oh,
So, boy, ladies
okay,
and
guys.
gentlemen, make we jump on this thing right now. Um, a friend who, and when you say no stranger, this man is no stranger. If you're a Belizean and you're in tune with anything Belizean, you will know I'm honored today, my brother, to have Bilal Morris with us on the show. I want to turn the tables on Bilal because he's usually the one doing the questioning and asking and doing the interviews and whatnot. Today, we're going to put him on it. Bilal, welcome to the show, man.
Greetings, my brother. G Mike, is always a pleasure. You know, I've been waiting for a little session with me and you can chat and talk
Boy,
about things and
this,
things.
this this is long overdue. Now tell me, because when I mention things like writer, show host, political commentator, preacher, teacher, educator, sports writer, music enthusiast, filmmaker, athlete, journalist, which one are all of them? But how does Bilal Maris see himself at this time?
Well, you know, B. Michael, the humility of myself is just a Belizean brother who is just trying to do a lot of things for country and people. You know, I wear a lot of hats, and of course, I'm a broadcast journalist and someone also a 30 years activist in the Los Angeles Belizean community, struggling for Belize and for people, and that's me. All the things, and in between that, I try to do all these other things, and it's all for Belize and Belizean and the Belizean people. My brother.
It's
Yes,
funny because the one thing I didn't say was activist, and that I believe should be top of the list for what Bilal Morris is, because you certainly have been active in a
very
lot of
well.
ways. Lately, though, we've heard the term used kind of loosely because it seems everybody is an activist now. But
Yes,
but there are
absolutely.
certain people who are true activists, and you certainly would fit that mold. How would you, at this point, define an activist as such? How do you see activism?
Activism is a way of life. It's actually a way of life. Most people are activists in terms of the word, the proper sense of the word. They are people who are working underground, or people who are working with community, working with a culture, in trying to solve problems, in trying to
Right,
break down barriers. They are normal people, typical people every day, but they are those people who go out and do the extra thing. They just don't want to be a citizen and just be a citizen, pay taxes, and live a nice life and have a good quality life, but they want to make a difference,
and
right? Yeah,
certainly don't want to be just a complainer, because there are the
exactly.
complainers who comment on everything but doesn't really do anything to try and change it. You
Exactly,
know,
absolutely.
yeah, you like a few others have been doing a lot. You've been showcasing the Belizean talents of old and of new. You've done many of the stories I've seen. I learned things that I didn't even know about because you get it directly from the person. And that's good because we do have to catch these people while we have them with us. Life is so
Absolutely,
fleeting.
G Mike.
Life is so
Absolutely, G
fleeting.
Mike.
Now Bilal is a Muslim. That is
That's my
your
faith.
faith.
Yeah, my religious
Uh,
faith.
how
Yes.
long have you been a Muslim, and what prompted you to join the Muslim faith?
I've been a Muslim since 1983. I always was very impressed with them in Belize. I never did embrace Islam in Belize, but I was always by that Racecourse Street, where was I used to call the Mecca, where all the bright minds, Barney and Nur Muhammad and Bert Tucker.
Yeah, right,
Somehow the
right.
masjid on Racecourse Street, so you just have Saeed and the ice cream parlor and the fish burgers, and they were coming out of that Nation of Islam experience, the whole Elijah Muhammad thing. And as I 16 years old, 17 years old, I was very impressed. I used to like go to the ice cream parlor there at the Muslim center there on Race Course Street. That was headed by Nur Muhammad at the time, and I used to like pick up their newspaper called the Bilalian News, right? Final Call, and I used to love to read. I used to love to read about my people outside of Belize, black people outside of Belize, all people outside of Belize. I you know, when you have that chance to expose yourself and you're just there within that confine of Belize, you want to read a lot to know more about the world. And they had a very nice library up there too, and I was very interested in African history. And Nur Muhammad used to allow me to come up there, and I used to see books and things that I used to like, you know, Golden Age of the Moors, ruled Spain for 700 years. But the newspaper was really like on the ice cream and the fish burger, you know. And but I used to sit there and listen to these minds. Victor Lewis, the engineer, Bert Tucker. These people used to come right there, and you know, Barney from SJC, Beverly Smith Lopez's husband, and all these bright, brilliant minds, brother, used to come on that one spot and used to engage. And I was a little nervous. I couldn't get into the kind of conversation, but I learned so much there. And it impressed on me that when I came to the United States, my brother Nuri Akbar, he was a Muslim at the time, and he always used to invite me, and in 1983 I accepted, and
you took the leap.
I took the leap and I became a Muslim. Yes.
What a lot of people don't realize is that a quarter of the world's population is Muslim. Over
Absolutely,
2 billion with a B. And I was reading the other day that it's one of the fastest growing religions in the world.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. You were there on the early part of it. Now we know that the Muslims are not all either. They're not always cohesive as such. They're different sects, if you will. Do you have a certain sect that you belong to? Do you follow the Prophet Muhammad? Well, most Muslims do, I imagine, follow the Prophet Muhammad. There are different branches that branched off, if you will, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of course.
Nation of Islam. Yeah.
Nation of Islam. And so is there any particular area, or do you just practice the religion?
I very much have an Orthodox Muslim, which means that I mostly have a Sunni. You have Sunni, Shia, you have the Muslims from the Nation of Islam, which are mostly what you would call an Ahmadiyya. You see the Ahmadiyyas in Belize today, that huge mosque they built up there on the Northern Highway, which are mostly Indians and Pakistanis. They are what you would call from the
I think that's the Western Highway. I think it's the Western.
Is it the Western DG, Mike? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, which is now the George Price Highway. Yeah, because I saw that going up and I found it interesting. In fact, the Ahmadiyya League they've just put out a basketball league, actually. Yeah, but so you would be, if you would come to Belize, you would go worship at that mosque. Is that
not necessarily? Not necessarily. But I was just saying to you that the Nation of Islam, the man that brought it to the Elijah Muhammad, was a man named Farad, and he was associated with that school of thought. It's like you were asking all the different schools of thought that is Islam. You have Hanbali, Shafi, and the theology of Islam is broad. And to understand the sects, you have to understand the different schools of thought and those scholars who brought those schools of thought to the fray. Muhammad never belonged to any particular school of thought. He taught just Islam. But after he passed away and he left, they started to split up into sects, and this one said that, and the philosophies, and a lot of philosophy start coming into the theology, and that's how you end up with all these different sects. But to say for me, I'm particularly a Sunni Muslim, which the Sunnis are mostly the Orthodox Muslims. They are the predominant sect all over the world, and it's just a very moderate in-between sect, right? That is not that follows the tenements of Islam. Salat, prayers, worshiping, prayers, fasting in Ramadan, going to the Hajj in Mecca, giving charity, and just the five pillars. Basically, Islam is an easy life to live. You just have to follow the 5 pillars and stay moderate. You don't have to go into these all extreme stuff and all of that and all of that.
But that's it, because many people look at Islam as in fact, I've heard people say, in particular white people, that Islam is a violent religion.
And it's also a racist religion. They would target.
Yeah, but right? after reading the Quran, I have not seen any of that. I have seen strict adherence to the laws of
So you are like Cat Stevens. When Cat Stevens embraced Islam, that's what the same thing he said that you said, G Mike.
no,
So you and
but
Cat Stevens are on the same path, right?
why that'd be an honor, because Manuel, he's a good singer and
Moon,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Moon
but
Shadow and Wild World and all of that.
there
Yes,
it
sir.
is. There it is. You're a man
Yeah,
that also reads a lot, though.
absolutely.
In your reading, has it reinforced your faith, or have you at times run into things that you're saying, well, boy, maybe this part of it I'm not too crazy about. This is showing me something else. Have you ever a light ever gone off in your head and say, boy, maybe this part of it I had to find out for myself?
Yes, all the time, G Mike. But you see, if I had studied with some of the best scholars when I was here in the United States, I put myself to know more about my faith. And I sat on the floor with some of the best. And I learned from them. And I wanted to know what, after reading the Quran maybe about 2 times, I wanted to be clear. And then the hadith of the Prophet, his whole seerah, his history, who he was, and the sayings. And after I studied all of that, I had to then get with these scholars in Islam, Africans and Caribbean brother. One of them was a Bahamian scholar who laid it down to me and let me know. He studied in Saudi. He was, he was brilliant master's degree in Islamic fiqh, which is jurisprudence. And I studied with him in terms of what they call tafsir, sitting on the floor and going through the meticulous thing. And so I knew my faith. So as I went along and I would read a lot of things, I knew the misconceptions. I knew where certain things were not Islam, certain things were Islam, and certain things were Islam, because I was well versed in it. I studied with one of the best, or three of the best in the faith, And so I saw these lights go off, but I was able to fix that. I was able to know what was Islam and what was not Islam when I saw these things. So I knew what was right and what was wrong in terms of a lot of the misconceptions that is presented in the mass media,
Right.
and a lot of the things that are written in books about Islam. The Orientalists, they are some of
By
the
people who don't
biggest
really know
attackers
what
of.
they're talking about. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
Again,
exactly.
as Creole would say, you pick sense for nonsense, no? And
Exactly, G.
and
But you
and
have to know your stuff. You have to have
yeah, yeah.
knowledge. You
Well,
cannot
yeah,
just pick
yeah,
sense for nonsense if you have not studied it. And a lot of people get lost because they didn't take their time out to study, G Mike. They didn't take their time out to learn. If you belong to something, G Michael Reed, if I come to you and I'm the apprentice, and I said, G Mike, I want to teach you this thing, you will learn from me, or you would ask me for my teacher. The apprentice can't teach you. You want to be learned from the teacher, right?
well, well,
Right?
well, well. Listen, I have found that there are two types of knowledge: a priori and posteriori. In other
Yeah.
words, there's some things that you just know. Like you tell me something, I might not have any knowledge or experience of it, but I can tell right away something, an intuition or something inside that tell you, yeah, that's correct. And you come and
Absolutely.
tell me something else, like why I jump off of the building and I fly down on top. I know that the nonsense. So there's some things you know a priori. The other stuff you get by experience and whatnot. So I think that many times, even when we look at religion, whatever religion we belong to, we can know what is sense and what is nonsense, and that's the
Nonsense,
bottom line.
indeed, G Mike.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes,
So
yes, indeed.
now you've done a lot of work. You obviously have never let go of your Belizean roots, and you spent some
Never
time in
ever
the
will be
U.S.
that.
Yeah,
Will never ever let Belize is a way of life for me. Apart
yeah,
from Islam is a way of life, my culture, my origin. Islam encourages you to hold on to your origin, your culture. Islam does not tell you to give up of your country, give up of your culture. No, Islam encourages you to hold on to that and do the best you can for your country, for your people.
your
Islam
bande, your
does not
bande.
yeah, it does not discourages you to break ties. Some people,
Yeah, yeah.
they come to go abroad and they break ties. Why we don't miss Belize anymore? No, no, no. Islam encourages you to hold on to that. The Prophet Muhammad preached that very highly. Hold on to your culture and hold on to where you come from, because Allah God is the one who put you in that little country, right? And so you do not disband it, or you do not
You know,
give it up. You
you know
hold
what?
on to it, brother.
What it reminds me of, Bilal, is when people get married and then they just let go of their family ties and cling
Yes.
to that person. And when things go wrong, then they find themselves out there lost with no
Exactly.
connection to home. So
And listen to the Islamic thing. Allah says in the Quran, family ties takes a priority over him. God is telling you that your family ties is even takes priority over him,
you
who
know,
is the creator of the heavens and the earth.
well,
So you know what he's telling you? He says,
they
you know, don't break your family ties. Your brothers and your sisters might not be Muslim, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna break ties with them. Oh, there are people do that in religion too, G Mike. Oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, this and that, and my family is sinful and I don't deal with them no more. No, no.
interesting.
That in the sight of Most High, the creator of the heaven and earth. That is wrong. He does
Yeah.
not want you. He said, no, don't break ties with them. He says, revere your mother and your father, even though they are not, even if they are not believers, but revere them, he said, because they took care of you when you were a baby, when you didn't know nothing.
Well,
Don't disrespect them.
and
You
that's
know?
interesting that you should say that, because I was thinking the other day, I was talking to a couple of these young people, and I'm saying, imagine if your parents did not take care of you when you were a child. You couldn't even clean yourself. You couldn't find nothing to eat. You don't know, you were lost, and they were there.
Absolutely.
If they didn't mind you and take care of you to this point, you would not be here to be ungrateful. So you should not be
Absolutely.
ungrateful. And yeah, I really, I think you're. And again, looking at Islam, there are a lot of things about Islam, and I'm not a Muslim. I'm gonna tell you that. I have fasted a few times with Ramadan, and I find it exhilarating. I find it beneficial. Um, I wish that I make you at least drink clean water sometime, cause you kind of punishing.
a
But
lot of people say no water. Like, okay,
yeah,
you take your
yeah,
pre-dawn meal in the morning, which is before the sun comes up, and you
right,
take a breakfast. That's why we have the word break fast, because
right,
when
right,
you're sleeping, G Mike, you're fasting.
correct.
Until when you get up, that's where we get the word breakfast from, because you're breaking your fast because all night for 6 hours you've been sleeping. So Islam encourages you to get up at 4 in the morning or 4:30 and have a meal, like your breakfast. Not, and drink a lot of water. And that food will carry you through that whole fast, that you won't need no water and no food. But if you don't get up and do it, you're gonna take a
Well,
beating.
listen to me. It gets easier after about halfway, but up to halfway.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth, because it's not.
Especially in a hot country like Belize, right, G Mike?
Yeah, man, a punishment.
Yeah.
Easy, but I'll find out that at the end of it, after 30 days, and you do that for 30 days, boy, you feel
Yeah.
that there's a even a renewed sense of confidence in yourself that yes, I could do something.
Yes,
And it's
yes,
important, because success breeds success. So once you're a
yes,
success
brother.
in one way, you're good at being success in other ways. And we talk about
Absolutely.
success, you've been covering a lot of people that you believe have been successful. Um, and that would have to include you. But there are a lot of Belizeans that we tend to forget. But you have been reminding us of a lot of these legends. Like in cycling, you cover all the sports, it seems, boxing, and
Yeah,
Belize, and we need to do that. We need to look at our heroes in order that we can convince ourselves that we are able to. I think a
yes,
big part
brother.
of our problem in Belize is that we're not sure we can. And as a result, we tend to copy other people. We tend to talk like the Americans or the Jamaicans. But we,
Mhm.
in our own, are a unique set of people with unique set of qualities.
Yes, absolutely.
So I want to big you up on that, what you're doing. Um,
Appreciate that, my brother. Thank you.
I
Yes,
think what you're also doing is to do what we are also trying to do here, is to bridge the divide between the diaspora and the Belizeans at home.
oh.
What do you see as the bigger problem there, and how do you think we can address it?
I think it's education on both sides. I think we are people divided based on we have been split asunder, and we need to know we are trying to come back together, but we are not educated in terms of the new life that we have had to live when that split occurred. The Belizeans at home they need to learn all over again who their people are that got up and left. and the Belizeans that left need to learn.
I did lose you. I did lose you. It looked like you to go. All right. Bilal must have hit a spot there. And we're just getting into the heat of the matter. It is 3 o'clock in Belize, actually, because here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think
Sorry about that. I'm on my phone and I'm getting calls coming in and trying to knock it out. I wish I could block
I mean,
them.
the one I to pass through a tunnel or something, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So
guys.
I was saying, right, G, that um
Yeah,
and
they at home and abroad, yeah.
at home and abroad, and
Yeah.
there needs to be education and there's a lack of knowledge. Like I was saying, we were split asunder, and those who left do not understand those who they left behind anymore, and those who are left behind in Belize who stayed, right, that's a better word, need to learn about the people who left. And I think as long as you have that lack of knowledge, that ignorance towards the life of those two people, right, those at home and abroad, the divide will always be there. And what we are trying to do is to become a part of the educational campaign to educate our people both at home and abroad about each other, right? We have to begin to start to, beside the political issues that are there also that divides us, I think the biggest problem is that we have to begin to come to know one another all over again. Or we know each other, but let's say that we need to learn about the new life that each of us had to live when we lived abroad and when we lived at home. And I think when we come together, there is this clash, the clash of ideas, the clash of cultures, as they would call it, as I forget the political scientist that calls Harrington or Huffington was his name. They call it the clash of cultures. It's like we are the same people, but we are coming back together with two different cultures. One, we are coming back with a culture from abroad. We are still Belizean, but the other one that stayed at home has kept that culture. But that culture has also changed
Well, that's it.
tremendously.
That's it. Yeah.
In a lot of ways, right?
I think also too that Belizeans who have gone abroad must respect those who stayed at home, because if we didn't stay, as it is, the ethnic makeup has changed drastically.
There would not have been no Belize.
There would be no Belize, and you need to give them respect for that.
Absolutely.
And because not everybody wanted to go. I know people who would not have left Belize, who had the opportunity.
I was one. I didn't really want to go. My parents dragged me out of there.
Well, I get one funny story too. I met a fellow at the airport the other day, and he was saying, "Man, I wish my father never gone." He said, "My father gone for better we, and yes, he send back things, but I'd have given up all of that to have my father here with me growing up." A man say he used to be a good football player and he used to look up to his pa. But then when his pa gone, he decided he didn't want to do that again then, and decided to just let it go, which I mean, I'm a sad thing. But also, though, there were many, the people who have gone abroad has helped Belize a lot. The remittances, let's make no mistake, that has helped to keep our economy afloat. So we in Belize also have to recognize that. And I think it's a matter of mutual respect, because they also sacrifice a lot. I think a lot of people didn't want to go, but realized that they had to, because there wasn't much opportunity in Belize.
They became economic refugees. They had to go to seek a better life abroad. And it's not only the states that they went to Mexico, they went to the Caribbean, they went to London,
England.
It's not only America. When we talk about the Belizean diaspora, Belizeans have this esoteric belief that it's only United States. No, people went simply right to the Cayman Islands and was sending back money.
Actually, there's a big Belizean community in the Cayman Islands.
Absolutely.
And I came back. When I went there, I went for a couple of surgeries. When I came back, when I went there, and the lady was saying, "But gee, Mike, look how many of us are here, and we named go honorary consulate." And I came back to Belize, and I told the AG at the time that was there, and they said, "Well, tell the lady, send me a letter." The lady sent her a letter, and a month later, I asked the lady, about 2 months later, I said, "You hear anything?" He said, "Me not hear a word from them people, not a word." And Cayman is a rich country.
Very
and
much
and
so.
we could do trade with Cayman. They're right across the sea, not far away at
Yes,
all. So I think we
yes.
need to bridge the gap in every area, Bilal.
Every area,
And I
brother.
think that what you're doing is so very important because it's helping.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
it is we need more support though. We need more people to understand what is going on and to
Yeah.
get on board. Buddy Brown, I like what Buddy Brown is doing with the Belize and American and Belize Association, trying
Big up,
trying to
Buddy
put things
Brown.
big up every time. And
Yes,
CY
man.
right there, CY
See why? That's my
the
why.
man, the man is.
Yes.
So we have
Look at
people,
that.
man. We're working, Bilal. We're
Yes,
working, and
man.
we have
Yes,
to
man.
continue.
And these
Now,
conversations, like what me and you are having, a Belizean at home and a Belizean abroad, this is the conversation that we should be having on a large scale between our
well,
people,
well,
sharing and transferring knowledge between one another about our divide and
right.
coming together and bridging that divide through conversations like this, brother.
But we
Big
need
up
to.
yourself to G, Mike. Big yourself up too, brother.
We need
Because
we. Well, thanks. We need to
yeah,
make it constructive though, because
yes,
if you
yes,
listen to some of the conversations, and I try to remove myself from them when they start, all the negativity and whatnot, and there are negatives, but we have to
absolutely.
overcome that. Such is life, my brother. You have day
Yes,
and night,
man.
you have rain and sunshine, and they work together. It's up
And
to
people
you.
don't understand that you will not agree on everything,
Oh no, oh
right?
no, yeah,
You
yeah.
have been at the forefront of the diaspora conversation,
Oh
and
yes,
not
I have.
everything we're gonna agree with G Mike. But I tell a lot of people, G Mike is saying what G Mike understands this thing to be. You disagree or you agree with him. But I tell people personally, I can disagree with G Mike, but I don't have to be disagreeable with G Mike.
And
But
we
I respect your difference of opinion in terms of the diaspora issue, the whole
right,
Seventh Amendment,
right.
and all of that. People like Glenn Tillett and all the other people. And so that's what we have to do. We have to sort of make the divide between us or the unfriendliness between us become our friends.
Well, the
The
way
Prophet of Islam used to say, make your enemy your friend, right?
well the way we have to do it, Bilal, is
We
through
are
our
seeing each other as enemies, and that's not good, G Mike. It's like I tell people, G Michael Reed is a good friend of mine from LA.
from way back.
That's a very
Now,
brilliant man. And if you watch
wha-
if you watch his tone of argument, they're sung. If you
well,
put a true table there, they're
well,
sung. You
well,
disagree.
this is what I'm getting ready to say to you, because it's through argument that we
There
get
you
to a
go. See?
conclusion on this matter. But we have to
Yeah.
get past the
You ain't
point
no
where
lightweight, brother. When you're
we
going to
have to
deal with
get.
you,
Well, don't let me remind you of something what Nur Muhammad told me one time. He say, when a man they big you up too much, the prophet say, better take a handful of sand and put it in your mouth, because it might swell your head to the point where you're thrown off your game. So no, listen to me though. First of all, we have to understand the difference between argument and quarrel, and too
There you
often we
go.
confuse the two. When you get to quarrel, then you're left it alone. But you could hold an argument, and we need to argue. You present your point, I present my point, and we come to a reasonable conclusion. We might not get to a conclusion, but just the search, just the journey towards an understanding can be enjoyable. So we need to continue that, and we need to make sure the arguments are constructive and sound indeed. Because when you say that, not contaminate with no fallacies and inject things with no business in the conversation.
It's like you have taken a course in inductive and deductive logic, G Mike. I
Yeah.
read you and I'm like, you're like Malcolm. Malcolm never did Ghana no university.
Well,
But when I read G Mike, it's like this guy, like he took a course in inductive and deductive logic. G Mike is sharp.
well, obviously it takes one to know one, so not come with that kind of. We know what it go on. Listen though, so we have the Belizeans at home. We have the diaspora over there. We certainly need to come together because we're a small country. This year we're supposed to be going to the ICJ. How do you see it? What you are you hopeful? What was your take on it? How did you vote?
Mind you, Mike, we in brother we led a whole campaign against the ICJ vote. We voted no, and we were not allowed to vote because Barra did not give us the opportunity to vote, and he threw the whole follow the law and everything at us. But we are vehemently opposed to going to the ICJ because we believe that that whole ICJ thing, Belize will have to cede something to Guatemala. They will have to cede something to Guatemala, and they taking it is a wrong thing for you to take your whole country for adjudication at a world court. And this is how we look at it, because these people are going to rule how they would want to rule. I mean, you could send in all your as the Belize government recently did, they send in their positions in terms
Right,
of where they stand. But
right.
when that court starts, these are jurists,
Yes.
and they have some very bias.
I
Have
don't
their
know.
biases,
I don't know.
and
Let's not forget. Let's not forget that we have 15 of the most brilliant minds in the world. These jurists have no allegiance to neither Belize nor Guatemala, and I think that we have good grounds on fair basis. So if they are to be fair, and I believe we can expect them to be fair, these are not poco tiempo people with a deal with here, Bilal. These are good. So we're on different sides of this argument because I was vehemently yes. I can remain that way. I think we cannot leave this legacy of fair for our children to inherit. We inherited from our parents. This is something they had no opportunity to do it because while the British long was promoting us going to the ICJ, the Guatemala never wanted to. Then finally they decide, all right, let's go. So for us to then say, well, we don't want to go, then that kind of look like we just being difficult. You see what I'm saying? So that part of it, we're on different sides of this argument. And again, I believe that since we have had the vote, and we'll get to this now because we need to look at the diaspora vote. While we have gotten to the vote, and we've decided we're going, we have to close ranks, stand together, stand strong, because a house divided against itself cannot stand. So we need for even those who were saying no, need to say now, all right, we decide, we form our consensus, let us go. Now we talk about
absolutely,
consensus, and
absolutely.
all right, and you might say now that the diaspora should have had an opportunity to vote, and I agree with you. And I'll tell you why I agree with you in that on issues pertaining to the country like that, I believe all Belizeans should vote. Now, when it comes to elections, I do not believe that the diaspora should vote because there's too many in the diaspora that can influence how an election goes. If they influence it and aren't here to suffer the consequences of that vote, then I don't see that as making sense. You see the point I'm making here? Because
Yes,
now,
quite some. Yeah,
what I would like to see is the diaspora have a representative in the House of Representatives. Let them, in fact, my my theory here, what I would like to see ideally is that the prime minister be elected separately. So we elect a prime minister. Then you elect your representatives.
sensitive.
That prime minister that can then select a cabinet from among technocrats, people who know. You can't have an electrician as the head of health. You can't have a contractor as the head of a law. You need somebody. And there are many things that I think we've gone wrong in some ways. Like the CEO should not have replaced the
The
PS
permanent secretary,
because
absolutely, G
they
man.
came up through the system and they know the
And they
workings of
used
the
to
place.
run those ministries. The PS used to run
Yes,
those ministries.
yes,
No,
and
it's the
many
opposite way around. Yeah.
exactly. So you the dog the dealer was the dog now. So
Yeah.
I believe on that level though, but with the diaspora vote because there's a whole page that I know that they have for diaspora vote, and from time to time I've seen some contributions from yourself and from other people. But I think we'll also have to come to an understanding on that one. But having said that, I think the diaspora should have a representative. The diaspora
I
will
totally
then,
agree with that. Yes.
the diaspora though have also got to get their act together as a unified
United
force
Force.
because
Yes.
they're splintered, scattered. You have
Very, very, very divided. Very, very divided.
so it would
Yeah.
be nice to have, and I see CY was attempting something. He was trying to get a meeting last week, but and with Zoom now, and with this kind of thing where we can talk, I mean, it's the miracle of technology,
I'm
and
telling you.
I really think that the biggest thing since the discovery of speech, because
Yeah.
we can communicate with one another. You see what
You
I'm
know,
saying?
George Price said a thing when we took him to Manual Arts High.
You're gone again. Somebody to call you. All right. Yeah, he'll be back, people. Bilal not going nowhere. It is 15 after 3 o'clock here in Belize City. We had a little shower earlier, but it looks like the sun is back out and things are bright again outside. We're in our rainy season, of course, but the jewel is still a jewel. And even during the rainy season, we have spurts of sunshine, spurts of good weather. So if you're planning on coming home for September, we got nice breaks during September. You're going to love it. And we want us you to pack one of these something extra on your way down so that we could have something for throw in at the kitty for the swap meet flea market thing in the park. We want to have a nice setup. We want to be able to raise and leave funds for doing a few work that we have to do. If you're not familiar with the park, visit our website, charlieburtonpark.org, or we have a Facebook page, Charlie Burton Park. So we're really trying to do something here in this neighborhood to make things better. And we at home need to get our act together also, just like the diaspora need to get their act together. All of us have to do what we can to make this work and make it happen. Again, we want to invite you to be with us every Saturday right here, 2:30 Belize time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, and 1:30 Pacific time. I believe I have that right. Uh, we have lots of people out there in the diaspora that needs to engage themselves in the conversation. Let us bridge this gap. Let us close this chasm. Let us make us one. For only so can we win if we are united. Bilal, I guess he got knocked off, and the when you do it on the phone, it's not as secure as when you do it on the laptop. Apparently, he couldn't make it to his studio, and as a result, I'm surprised he got to get on using the phone because quite many times you can't. I've tried it myself on occasion, and I haven't been able to do it. StreamYard apparently has some limitations. He was doing well for a while. He got knocked off when somebody called. He might have got knocked off again. I might probably have the same problem getting back on.
And
And
you had a couple questions too from the audience that wanted to ask him at the end of the show. So
that
hopefully
would
he
be
come back
wonderful.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully he
Um,
come back on.
I don't see the questions. I was hoping to see some in the private chat.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
I
I
think they
don't.
sent it to the thing. I was looking at it on the Facebook page itself. I didn't see it in the chat. That's something we gotta
Work on no, so that they
yeah,
could.
you gotta
Yeah.
gotta let
Yeah.
gotta let the viewers know that they could come on and comment live on the chat, on the private chat. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let,
yeah,
let,
yeah, yeah,
let me see if I could get. Maybe I could pull up the
yeah.
Facebook page
Let me see. Mr.
and
Morrison had a question.
okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. I'm not seeing it here. So listen. Um, you could read that out for us too. Then
I'm
at,
trying to
at
get back to it now. I'm trying to find it back now because
when we
I
get.
left it a little while ago. So I'm trying to find that back now for you.
Yeah.
And read it
Hopefully
out.
we'll
Mr.
get
Morrison, yeah, Mr. Morrison had a few questions, and Mr. Perry, I think too. Respect to Mr. Perry, artist out
and
of Belize.
yeah, man.
He
Yeah,
trying to do
man.
good things as he go along.
Right. He's
Yeah.
there are a bunch of people out there who are really doing something, and we have to applaud all of them. I believe that everybody in their own area of expertise need to do what they can. I believe that different communities, different neighborhoods have to have their own little programs in place. I don't think that we save everybody, but we have to save who we can. And I think if you try to do it on a large scale, it doesn't work as well as if everybody do their own little thing. And at the end of the day, we have the same destination in mind. We might be going a different route, but we still all have one objective, which is to make Belize a better place for us to grow old in and for our children to grow up in.
Okay, I have the questions. I have the comments. First of all, Julia said to say hi to you.
Hi,
Sweetie
Julia.
said, Sweetie, the artist, you know Sweetie.
Yes, I
One
do.
of our, yeah, Sweetie said
Remember?
to tell you hi, of course, you know.
All
And
right. I love our music.
yeah. Let me see. Sammy came up. Sammy said absentee voters should be a must. I don't know how you would address that or how you would answer that question. How Bilal would answer that question here.
Well, I think we discussed that, and I put forth my point of view that, see, people in the diaspora are a huge percentage of Belizeans. They are, in fact, the brain drain that occurred. Most of them are mature people. Many of the voters we have in Belize today are the younger ones that are coming up. They, if they're big enough of a block that they can influence how the election goes in Belize, it's kind of unfair for the people who live in Belize, because then we have to live with the result of that vote. If we vote and put in a representative, or you in your area vote and put in a representative, you have to live with that representative until his term of office is over. So if we have to live with the result of that vote, I don't know that it's fair for them to vote and not be here to suffer the consequences of that vote if it's a mistake.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that you got to put in the if, because you say if consequences, it might not be. What if it is positive? Then what?
Well, there it is. So you never know.
You never know. All right.
Yeah,
Mr. Morrison said, oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to finish you off your point. Go ahead, Mr.
No,
G.
no. That the point is made.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but
Okay.
if it can go one way or the other, and that's
Of
for sure. And the
course, yeah,
fact that
yeah.
it can go the other way
Yeah.
puts in there
Correct.
that condition that makes
Correct.
it untenable.
I agree 100%. Mr.
Yeah.
George, Mr. Gregory Morrison would like to know, did you your impression of the PM speech at the Summit of America? Did you see it?
I didn't.
Okay.
I should have seen it.
Yeah, okay.
I planned to print it and go through it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, and I think what I hope he addressed the issue of trying to get support for our case at the ICJ, which is right now paramount. The other stuff, as far as getting involved in the, everybody else's business, it is, and I don't know. America got problems that they have to solve. We have our problems. The mass shootings in America is okay to say, all right, speaker, and I understand he addressed the issue of guns over there and whatnot. I'm gonna hold off for that for till next week after I get a good overview of the
get a good
speech.
understanding, and then you could probably address that matter.
Then
Mr. Gregory is here. Mr. Gregory is here with us all the time, so yeah, you'll be able to adjust that part of it. You know.
Yes, man. Certainly.
All right. So go ahead. Bilal ain't back yet, so I guess he really got knocked off this time.
Yeah. I hope he I hope he's able to get back on. With adjustment to get in at the meat and the matter. Yeah, and we go back a long ways, me and Bilal. I know him, and so we can always reason, and we have mutual respect for each other. I love what he's doing. I mean, I tell you what, when with our Belizean legends and whatnot, and highlighting the work of people at home and abroad, is big. I think what Belize needs heroes. What disappoints me most is that a move to discredit, say for instance, the 10th of September victory at St. George's Key.
Oh yeah, that discussion came up over here like last week. Yeah.
I think we need to understand, because stories like those that will build the confidence of people within themselves. Success does breed success. We don't believe a lot of times when something comes up and the top one believes in this, we kind of like conditionally support it or not sure of when it happened, because we don't believe in ourselves. We need to have more confidence in ourselves for us to excel and succeed. Let us well, every time I split the screen to make a thing so we to get back to Bilal.
No. I don't think it was different layout. I
Yeah, man.
apologize.
But yeah. Well, let me get back to promoting my
Yes, sir.
my situation then, with the park and thing. We have quite a few things we're trying to do. We're trying to accomplish. We're to try, again, a new cover for a basketball court. We got a bathroom where we got to put in a septic tank, because since the guy wouldn't allow us to run the pipe through a yard, we have to deal with that. Um, we got bleachers and whatnot. We want to put a few more benches in our library, because we got a library where the kids come and do their homework and whatnot. We want to start back our after school program, and I find that many times we need to get them a little incentive. So we have to have refreshments for that. For a long time, it's been out of pocket. I can't sustain it. I know got it like that. But with the help of people at home and abroad, we're able to make a difference, because this foundation and this park has made a difference in this neighborhood. I mean, the police will tell you that the incidence of crime around here has gone down drastically. The people are living together. The children are playing in the park. It's amazing if you see what has happened, and the evidence is there. It speaks for itself. I would like to see it emulated in other neighborhoods. I'd like to see other people do it, where people who are retired and have the time to get involved with these children do so. It's not easy, and I tell you, sometimes I feel like giving up, and I see people who have tried it and have given up, and I see the reason why. Because the children that come up with a sense of entitlement, and then I'm got then I know about the magic words. Then I know when they come to me, say, read, I want ideal. No, son, they're not say bring that. You have to come with please and say thank you. They're not taught this at home. They're just ignored. No time is spent to guide the children along the proper path. And that's not good. Children are born a ball of energy with no direction. You have to point them where they want to go, because that energy can go either positive or negative. They need to know the benefits of positive direction and the detriments of negative direction, because our AHCY, and we've seen it, we know what the consequences are when you're the fool, but there's also benefits when you do the right thing, and it's not immediate, but somewhere down the road. They know who you owe your pay, and they know who owe you pay you. But whatever you do, you can be assured you get pay, and if you have to pay, you will pay. That's the bottom line to that. We're Well, if we're going to stick to time, if we will get back Bilal, we want to do it. If not, we will have to reschedule Bilal for another time when he can be in studio. Okay, there were a lot of things I wanted to talk to him about. I wanted to cover the whole issue of his personal beliefs and whatnot to begin with.
And you want to congratulate him on his new show out of LA too. This fantastic what he's doing over there. I think he's doing with Creme FM or something. We got to get more into that too.
I don't know how. I know they did a week, and Mose and Creme usually take the show from to different locations. I don't know if they just did it for that that week, or if they're going to be doing it on a regular basis. No, but Bilal certain is what you might call a correspondent for the Cremandala crew out in Los Angeles, which is good because Creme does have the lion's share of the morning audience, no?
So
they reach a lot of people. It's important that they reach them with that kind of positive message that Bilal brings.
Of course. At the moment, I have Mr. David, brother David Obi, waiting to coming on the next.
Hour.
So, but before you go, I want to bring him on. You could say hi. You don't have to just jump off with Mr. Mike. Just be 4 minutes. Say hi to Mr. David, and I'll take it from there. Then you go sign out. But first, before you leave, please say hi to our next guest coming up, Mr.
Brother David Obi.
Brother
Mike,
David.
how you going, man? Good to see you, man. Long time.
I want you to know that I know Brother David from he was
Your
playing
boy.
with from he was with Scorpius Journey.
That's your boy. That's your boy. That's your boy.
Original recording studio.
From he was off of Crenshaw and Adams. The Crenshaw and
Alright.
Adams, no?
No, we got Father Adlink. We used to come to my house. Ellen Dale off of Adams and
Yes.
way back, that before Adams. But Ellen Dale.
Yes.
That kind of far.
When
That far.
what happened to Emmanuel Good, boy? Because I know Emmanuel was playing drums here for a while.
Yeah,
yeah,
but that,
Taking- he's
I
stick-
checked it out
oh, it's
about 2 or
okay.
3 weeks ago.
all right,
2
all
or 3
right.
weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, brother David got a lot of information to share with you too. I hope
Yeah.
you stay on, brother David, because it looks like
All
it
right,
broke
so,
up
yeah.
down and leave it. Tell him for hold the cars because the cars will knock you off.
Well, really, we just want to vibe and leave it for the day, you know.
All right, wonderful, man. But nice seeing you, man.
Likewise, my brother, and we're still doing what we do.
Right,
Sharing the
indeed.
vibe. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
with respect. Adam, I want to get you on my show one of these days, so me I have a reason also, no?
It's possible. It's possible. It's
We
possible.
got things we could talk about also.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
But my brother, always a
Uh-huh.
pleasure. Respect, brother
Likewise, man.
David. Stay
Guidance,
strong.
man. Take care. Yes, sir.
Bless, man. Yeah, man. All right. See why I'm out.
One love. One
Next
love.
week, right? Make we
Yeah,
try
you
get
say no, yeah.
Bilal back again
Yes,
another
sir.
time, right?
I agree,
Re-
sir. Yes, sir.
Respect
One love.
every time. Blessings.
One love. Brother David, man, what's going on, my brother?
Well,
That's
yeah,
Rafinha. That's Rafinha in the back there.
yeah. That Rafinha set up everything for me, but I'm very
Yeah, tell
fortunate and
Rafinha
blessed.
that we have to do a little thing with Rafinha too in the future, in the near future, as a matter of fact. I'll reach out to him
Definitely.
and then we could do something right from there. So how
Definitely.
is everything, my brother? How is everything? Talk to me,
Everything
man.
pretty good, man. I'm in an indigenous studio today. I've been
Yeah.
open, and
Yeah.
everything nice and airy. You know, he just set up everything for me, so
Yeah.
we could roll.
Yeah, one love to the brother. No, let's start with well, I was discussing with G Mike and I told him the only reason I could see so far is because I've been standing on the shoulders of giants. You know what I mean? I mean, you're a pioneer to us, to a lot of us. You might not know it, but I not know some of us personally. But coming up, you was always this figure that we looked up to, like father, like almost. You know what I mean? So
I
we are
understand that.
very appreciative of your what should I say? You're smooth. You know what I mean? It wasn't working, listening to you and listening to your music and listening to your and following your career and such, right? You had always been approachable. And I think that was very important for the youth. Now let me ask you, who inspired you? What made you say pick up the drums or pick up the guitar, or what started you in that direction?
Well, I grew up at Dangriga, right? That's my hometown. And in the days, we never got electricity as such. People never got radio, and we got radio, but I'm a battery radio and anything there. So for we main means of music that me by drumming, you know, acoustic music, you know, and you every day you just hear that from your band, you hear drumming for christening, you hear drumming for death, you hear drumming for enjoyment, and a hell of a thing because when you get a rhythm in your soul that kind of way from such an early age, it proved right now. See where part the music of Belize come from, not the song of Belize come out of Dangriga where the rhythm there, you know.
Correct.
But there I grew up. So considering that, I grew up with the music that way, and when I got to Belize City and I start their own other musicians, I get for hear Chuck Gladden.
Okay.
God bless the dead, one of the most famous guitarists been living in New York for a long time. To the guy make one big name in New York City.
Okay.
Right? So when you make big name in New York City, you're there.
Yes.
And I get for here Chucky and the band name Messengers, where Pete Matthews that made the lead off at the time. And I get inspired from that person right away for one play the guitar. And I'm fortunate that one young lady, my church young girl, I have to say, she me know 1 2 cards, and I used to stop by her house and she started teaching me 1 or 2 cards. So by the time I get to LA, I got one Los Angeles, I got one idea of some of the music where I want to do on the guitar. Never know to play the guitar as such. but I never totally agree into it because Erica McSweeney helped me and Chuck Gladden helped me. Then I made the two inspires.
You could have pick a lead string. You could have pick a lead string at the time.
Yes, I never totally agree. I could pick up the guitar and look like I know something. You know. Then the teacher at that time, I mean Norman Joseph. We band Astros. I mean the second original Belize band ever made in Los Angeles. The first band, I mean one band made by one brother by the name of Lem Van. I don't remember the name of the band right now. But then I made the first Belize band where we got in LA, and for we band I made the second band, like we made the young band where they come right and we come take over things. You know the youth they always come and take over things. So we done for Astros, and the leader of the band I made Norman Joseph, and he helped me a million. He used to play the keyboard. He helped me a lot. He really helped me a lot.
So Harrington Trapp with that band came after you guys.
Who that?
Harrington Trapp. What's the name of the band he was with?
Oh, Harrington Trapp. Yeah, I never meet Harry until I got lived in New York. When I got lived in New York, and I started playing at the Web, because I have a band in New York too.
Yes, the Web used to play with Gladden and them.
Yeah.
Correct.
Harry Trapp used to blow trombone and singing at the Web.
Okay.
The first time when I meet Trappy, I think, and then after that when Trappy came to LA, he used to sing for a band named Babylon Warriors.
Yes, that's the band.
That's the band I think you talk about.
That's after the Web. That's after the Web.
Yeah, that's after the Web when he came to LA, right? So
okay.
I communicated with Harry most about 2 months ago. With Trapp most about 2 months ago too. Because we give one another leash out every now and again.
Of course. All right, so now, Miss Brother David.
Yep.
Let me ask you this question, right? Like you've been in the music for a little while, the music industry for a little while. As far as from then till now, as far as Belizean artists is concerned, the growth, because I've seen the growth in Belize, like with the younger guys, even females and stuff like that. Are you aware of the trajectory? It looks good. It looks how it looks. How is the government helping in that aspect of saying assist these guys in like, because a big part of the business is knowing the business. It's not anymore just being an artist and being a thing. You got to know your rights. You got to know your ins and outs. I always hear this thing from people before me, like Sweet Tea, and these people tell me this is what you got to do. I know Ras Inyo is familiar with this, but as far as the other youth that's coming up now, what advice you would have for them in regards to that part of the game?
Well, my humble observation of the whole thing starting from the early 80s, I think that then we really started.
Yeah, the early 80s explosion,
the whole music, no?
Yeah,
we really come a long way. I think
so.
People, I think we really come a long way.
I think so too. I think it's a struggle, but I think so. I could see the growth.
Yes. For example, right now we're probably sitting down there in our young musician studio. We never got that to in the entire. Now we got our own studios.
Yes, and you have numerous
musician. You definitely want to get your own studio at least.
Of course, So you can put in the work.
I always tell people we come a very long way, and over the COVID time, may give it time for catch up with a lot of the technology and a lot of the platform and copyright business. And the business of the music business.
Yes, exactly. That's my point.
Kobe give him a chance to catch up on that. Especially me, I go talk like for me, and I know a lot of other musicians because then we couldn't play. So we had to find other things to do what we need to do. Before that album, they do that make music. You know, we make one lot of music and things because that made the inspiration and motivation at the time. Kobe stop we down and make we start put everything in a check. You know, for example, now I have all my music then copywritten and then on all the digital platform. If anybody want music, they could just punch in Brother David and you could search and listen to music and do the things then where you do with music nowadays. They're not CD in your hand again as like before. So I think all of we did, not all of we, but most of we did at that spot now we're part with music there on the digital platforms and we copywritten and everybody got a much better understanding of the music business as opposed to just playing the music, you know. So I think all in all we and then now we have a lot more other musicians we could play better. Because when I come home, the brothers then when me record for me when I'm in America, when I come home, I really couldn't find musicians to make one live band for play that music like that. I mean that's the reality. No, we have one choice, you know, like you could go one or two different bassmen where you could call, or keyboard man, or even backup vocal where you could call for do some studio work. Before we never have, right? So we definitely come a long way. Like the song say, we've come a long way.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I agree with that. All right, now. All right. So let me ask you another this question, right? Say you decide what would make you say, okay, I want to write a song about this subject or that subject, and like how, when doing so, do you have to go in a closet? Some songs you get quick, some songs take long, some songs. And what genre? What genre now? I know you do punta and the drumming, but you also do some reggae. Do you do soca?
Okay, well, you see, when you ask that question, I realize that I got a music, Congo music, where I created for 1983.
Yeah, yeah.
One world-renowned
Your own
music.
style, yes, yes.
Check it out. Check
Check
it
it
out. Check it out. Our world-renowned music now.
Check
Our
it out.
Belizean music, stable Belizean music. It has been acknowledged and accepted as a Belizean music. So
Check
Congo
it
music
out.
up on the chart now. So
Correct.
first of all, right, and then.
Yeah.
I do some Punta Racto because I would agree and I have for help
Yeah, of
any
course.
Belizean music where they and I could play it, I play it because one musician will play the music where he could play, you know. When a musician no play one kind of music, no, generally because you don't know for play it, you know. Because if you know for play it,
Yeah,
you
play.
want to play it. You want to play it. You think so? In the early stages, I wrote, I'm right. I have about, I nearly have an album of reggae music because that's the music where inspire me in the first place.
Okay.
When we that the music where really breathe the power in a way.
Okay.
Make we want to do the right way. When I hear reggae and I hear that from Jamaica, then I decide to write Congo music and make Belize
right.
own music.
Okay.
To that point, we never got no music where we instead of for we music.
No,
You
no,
think?
really. That you could identify with.
Yeah, when we got broke down and anything.
Yeah, broke. That's all. Just gonna ask you about the broke down. Yeah.
Yes, but
Mr.
like,
Peters, Mr. Peters.
Huh?
Mr. Peters, respect due to Mr. Peters, same
Yes,
way, you know what I mean? The Turkish
but
band.
I may look on music like how Jamaican look on reggae, right? So that a part of what inspire me to create the Congo music. And happily and thankfully, Jah provide the loving of the people in heart for make them love the music and accept the music. And know that I'm a part of the Belizean identity when it comes to music. Then we got the broke down music. I write several broke down songs because Mr. Peters that the one when I'm in my inspirator when I come home and he teach me the Belizean music.
Yes,
I have to play with Mr. Peters for really get the Belizean drop again because you see like how you guys live in America and listen to all of that kind of music with the America. When you come to Belize, no, you hear Belize music, but you don't really understand it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it and you feel it and leave it, but you know, like when you I'm a musician and I play an instrument. And when I left for America, when I come home, I had to decide that Mr. Peters, when he move it, that's simple changes, but you know they hear it.
Yeah, it's subtle.
In America, you hear so much other kind of music in your head.
Yeah.
And when you come home and you hear one simple music where they go,
yeah.
Shall I, baby? Where something simple like that.
Yeah.
You don't really catch it. It take you a while.
It's subtle. Yeah, it's subtle. Yeah. Yeah.
So
the simplistic form of it make it special.
Yes, yes. And then, of course, we do some soca. I don't really spend time on soca because I had a fan Trinidad. I more spend time the bill for we Belizean music. So I do Congo music, lockdown music, and Punta Rock music. You know, I more spend time they do their music there. And remember now we got like 6-7 ethnic groups of Belize. So
okay, that's all right. That's the next one. Yeah, correct. Cause you got the mestizos, you got the Spanish, you got the
You got East Indian, you got mestizos.
Yeah, the East Indian, yeah.
Kechi, you got Maya, you got Chinese, you got Mennonites, and everybody got their own song, right? It just that like everything else, the Afro song usually that the most dominant song in any country.
Okay, correct.
So therefore, the Afro song where you hear with Punta Rock and Congo music and Brockdown music, that from the black people of Belize, the Afro Belizean. That then I want to play that music there.
Okay, copy.
Plenty time and call Brockdown music, Creole music, and that's because the African Belizean and the Creole people then basically got together for that most part. But the black people play their music, including Mr. Peters.
Yes. I agree 100%.
And then before I forget, we also got the Samba music.
Okay.
With a from Gales Point, which are from the real African Belizean, the real black people. They were runaway slaves from Gales Point. That music they know, I record that music around 1987 or so. I know that music that another respected music as on Belizean music.
Yes,
America might not get it good yet.
But it's coming because I hear the style. I hear some of the styles. I hear it.
Yeah,
so it's coming. It'll come.
And guess what? Before I forget this, I just on record one Kechi Maya recording where then are the last two Ketchimaya people, one blow a flute and one play the drum, and then are the last two people who could play this type of music. I
Okay.
just done recording in a free studio at Danwiga about
Very
2 months,
interesting.
2 months ago. So you are hear about that music there
Yeah.
again in the near
Yeah,
future.
gotta look forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Give me a minute. Let me bring Mr. Bilal back on because he had technical difficulties. But then we will and then we will get back to you. He might have a little few questions for you too, Mr. Bilal. Oh, my brother.
Yes, I be like, how do you go, man?
That's my cousin right there, you know. See,
Yeah, that's your family, man.
First
That's
cousin.
your family. That's your family. That's your family.
Blood. This is a close blood.
That's your family right there.
Yeah.
Good
I
for
see
you,
my
man.
phone gone out on me, my battery power fail. I was out.
Yeah. Okay, no worries, man. No worries, man. Mr. Brother David is my hero, man. You know what I mean? I look up to him. I follow him. He don't really know me, but I follow him. I listen to his music. I like his style. You dig? And I love the continuity of it. We were just discussing with G. Michael about people who will quit after a little while. But for somebody to sustain this long in the business and to be producing such beautiful work, man, I'm so proud, man. I honor him for that, you know?
Remember it, sir.
Well,
Brad David is a legend. Brad David is a legend.
You remember, Clinton, at the beginning of the show, you say you don't understand from Brad and Strong Soul.
Yeah, I stand up on the shoulders of giants, brother.
I tell you.
Yeah.
The shoulders and where I stand from out of Los Angeles, out of all of them, including Belial, all of them.
Yeah.
Giant shoulders I stand from for make you hear about Brad David today.
I hear you, my brother. I hear you, my brother. Beautiful.
My sisters and brothers out of LA. Boy, look out. Junda, everybody, all of them brothers.
Yes, respect. Yeah, respect. You got to shout them out. You got to shout them out.
You dig?
For real.
Somebody asked me about Manny Good just now. Who asked me about that G Mike, no?
Yes.
Manny that found one of my band, Scorpion's Journey with him and Jalem.
Okay.
We did the rock music at that time.
Okay.
But like I say, you know, the broad shoulders with the pan, man.
Of course.
Patrick Barrow again.
Yeah, Patrick, I heard. Yeah.
Yes,
music.
exactly.
A lot of people don't even know who named Patrick Barrow, but I always tell them that
I heard.
Involved so much with the music from the beginning. Hey, but so your work, you shall get paid.
I understand. We discussed that with Bilal a little while ago. Yeah, Bilal, G Mike say we will schedule your return because he say he gets cut short wide. But I say wait, you want delve into more things that I don't worry about Bilal. When Bilal get a break again.
Part two. You gotta do part two.
Yeah, of course we will.
I got it next week on part two. No worries.
It might not be next week. But in the near future, because you know we got the thing set up in a way that's reoccurring. Yeah, we got schedule. Yeah, but now, man, you're welcome in. But you're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime. All right?
Yes, my brother.
All right, let me get back to your family, man.
All right, my brother. Take care.
All right, peace and love. All right, peace and love.
Yes, brother. Take care.
All right, thanks.
Bilal.
Okay, brother D. No, brother D.
Yeah.
No, listen, brother D, right? What you doing as far as say touring, as far as moving around? What you got planned? What you got to do next? What's the next album? What's the next move? How is things looking over there?
Yeah, well, we are released one 5-song album late July, just before the September time, just so that we keep up where we normally do release music before September, no?
Okay.
And there are some really dynamic songs and everything like that. But as far as touring, and because now we could put them on the platform and who buy and who not buy.
Yes, of course, yeah, of course.
But as far as the touring, I'm afraid I didn't answer the age, I know they part too much touring. That my youth them for think about that now.
Yeah, okay, copy.
Touring not really there on my list of things because after a while, when you get a certain age, you must know when you could do something good and when you're not do it as good as you think you want to do it,
Okay, copy.
And traveling and not something, playing the music, then no problem because, if I do it, you're fine.
Okay.
But when I see myself, they travel and they go from here to over there and then maybe
I feel good and come back. Yeah. It takes a lot out of you.
I'm not motivated for it. I just mentioned to my oldest daughter and my brother. And I ain't mentioned to my mother yet, but again, I depend the so they must say, yeah, at some point that I never have America in my mind at all right now, period. But I think now they say maybe I need to go visit my mother around December. So I will start trying to think about if me and my children could arrange to make I go take one, leave it, go visit my
While
mother.
while he run out, yeah, while he
Yeah,
run
while
out.
you wanna I come back. So I just to start think that kind of way. You know, after Kobe locked me down for 2 years and everything, you really make your anything but go no way, you know. But
I understand, my brother. Real
I
talk.
just start going to the studio now and I just start record again. I really spend last week I spent hours in the studio every day. So that's a very, very good sign. That's a
Okay.
very good sign.
That's a very, very good sign.
Yeah, we got the 5 songs basically ready for release. And like I said, we got a lot of help. But as far as the traveling thing, I really don't think about it, boy, because traveling take a lot of people don't realize, you know. Traveling take one lot of thing out of you, one lot of energy, and you can't feel sick the next day when your performance that you have to go perform. You know, that kind of way.
I
And,
understand very.
and as good as I feel today and thing, and most of the days, then Sunday when you get up, you really don't feel like that, you know. So in my mind, I don't really think but want to take that risk for going half.
I understand, my brother. I understand you fully, my
People
brother.
expect you to come and perform and not at the same time when you don't feel too good. So it's up to Jah. If the Jah willing, well then
yeah, this is gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah.
But in essence, I know the chase after it like we used to.
Yeah. My musical tech is like is between places. He's moving around a little bit now. His name is Garrett Gillett. His father is Jeffrey Gillett. Ever heard of him?
I think the name Jeffrey Gillett, I think song, but I don't like as you say.
I think Bobby Sachs used to play with him one time, but you should know him because he know you. Bobby Sachs used to play, I think, the bass with him one time.
Bobby Sachs play bass, yeah.
Yeah, one time. But his son, Mr. Gillett's son, Smokey, said to tell you hi. You know what I mean? And to say keep it going. You know what I mean?
Okay,
and a couple other people said to tell you hi. Sweetie said to say hi to you.
Okay, man. Tell them thanks very much, man. Tell them thanks very much. And I do
man. But thank you very much for coming on, man. Thank you very much for coming on. Anything you want to say before we sign out? Anybody you want to shout out to or anything?
Well, I just want
to say thank you too.
I just want to say thanks to you, my brother, for inviting me on.
No, it's not a first. It's a first. It's not going to be one-time thing, brother David. By September, when the next thing drops, I'll bring you back again.
No problem.
But you are welcome.
We need to do this with as much artists as we could for
continuing. Of course, I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
We're glad that you brothers do that part of the job because we can't do everything. We create.
Understand, brother. Understand, brother. Understand, brother.
And give it the
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Anytime. Whenever.
Okay, brother. So thanks very much, man. And guys,
don't worry, man. Before we go, tell them where you could get the music or where you could get in touch with you or where you could reach you at, so you could, in case somebody want to check in.
All right. Just go and Google and punch in Brother David.
Yes.
Brother David at .com and Gmail at .com.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, just go to YouTube and punch in Brother David and you'll see all the videos and all the songs in.
Correct.
And then go for each one of the platform and you can see the songs and listen to
them.
And give him one hit or buy some music because now, like I said, due to where we had the music in every 3 months, I think every 4 months, we get one little bit of royalties, and the more people we buy and the more people we click the royalties, that's how we can get paid now.
Correct. That's how we get paid now.
That's how we can get paid now. This is the new world order. So
correct, my
little
brother.
People could click on it. You click on Brother David and Tribal Vibes. You click on Ras Indio. Anyone of we thing right there, and that you can come back to win.
Yeah, like tell no worries, man. Tell Rasinho, Shana say what's up and to thank him for dealing with her too, And hopefully between me and you and him, maybe I will get a little something or one of the beats or something, man. I'll drop at least 16 or at least 8 or something.
All right, well, no problem. Like how you got my information, I always send you Rasinho information and then
you thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You think everything together, whatever you need, I could supply you with.
Copy. All right. Thank you so much, brother David.
Guidance, my brother. Peace.
Have a blessed day. Guidance. Peace.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's a legend right there, my man. That's my man right there, no doubt. Brother David, I enjoy that little time I got to spend with him. We're gonna be talking with Brother David again soon, I think September, like you said, when you drop the next thing, we're gonna bring him back on. Also, I gotta talk to Rasinho, man. I always have Rasinho in my mind, but I never reach out and touch him. But we're gonna reach out like AT&T and see what's up. And we're gonna put something together so we could deal with that. Before we move on, I want to say bless up to my Lisa Sunday and my brother. You know what I mean? Like regular routine. Chucky, Roland, Kitty, Stu, Leroy, you know what I mean? Respect due to all my Lisa Sunday, you know what I mean? Julia, Gloria, Ems, all my baby there. Fiona, Erica, Candice, Amber Zay, Zay Lee and Kira, of course, you know. Candice, yeah, that's my baby right there. Before I leave, let me run up on 2-3 things where they're going around the place. I got some exciting news for next week. By next week, I'm gonna check someone on that. But you know, my sister, see my sister anyway. I could call her my sister. Arlette is have a little flare up, so you all know about that. What's happening? But not because lupus month is over means lupus is over, brother. You know what I mean? It's something we got to deal with every time. So yeah, you know, if you want to check in and get anything together and send it to lupus organization, or just be aware and keep the conversation alive in respect to that part, then that's gonna help a lot too. But you know, we got a couple. She got shirts to sell. You could get a little shirts for the organization if you want to donate something in that aspect. You could get cups, you know, for real, you get cups and all that. And we were speaking about G Mike and a little trip I take to Pomona. We want to say big up to Miss Joe, to the Joe Belize Foundation for helping out on that aspect too. Like I said, we know parcel, so you can't expect that from my show. My show we do everything and everybody. We're not gonna be doing none of that, bro, for real. Big up Miss Vanessa, big up to my sister, big up to my cousin Gwendy's and the whole BD wise set up. Now man, what happen? Yeah, respect to Gwenda, like I said, Jules, me love you still. You understand? But the 23rd, DJ Derek Operator K, don't know, will be in the building. All the info is right there. If you want, you talk with Clay Tower. Respect to Tower Channel, respect to Channel, same way too. You know what I mean? Let me see. Oh, you got to get back to AIM. It's done for this week with AIM. The AIM shipping is done. I'm gonna get the other one coming up soon. Let me give some information that's happening as we go along, though. For real. Here she go. Next Saturday, interesting guest. She'll be here. She'll be well healthy and think God doesn't know what's up. You know what I mean? Every Saturday she come on. 3:30 Eastern, 1:30 BZ time. You can check Miss Arlette. Renowned guest, special interest topics. You already know. Immediately following her is like G Mike. You seen G Mike having a discussion with Bilal just now. He was off the hook. Them guys are very informative. I'm loving this. For real. You know what I mean? Bless up to G Mike, same way. You know. One shout out John. You know what I'm saying? And then following G Mike is what's happening right now. You dig? Movers and shakers. We just got to with Brother David. I want to say respect and thanks for taking the time off for coming on the show and check with me. You dig? You see what else is going on? What else is going on? But you know, we stay on the canoe thing still, so don't watch nothing. And then we also have the apparel to jump. So the 501 apparel should be out on the market in a few. You see me with the shirt there just the other day. Should be banging a Levi. I'll get that directly. Today, that's gonna be on the Kingdom Apparel. It is what it is. Real talk. Understand? Oh, don't forget on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. we do this. So you think you got joke series. You will come in and if you don't think on the funny, if you just want to listen up, because I got jokes a day. So, you know what I mean? Thin line between teasing and telling jokes, you know, well, you know what I mean? Man could get slapped, but the business that. For real. You know how we operate wrong as well. Before we leave all, let me just say big up to my silver medal winner out of the Carry Cup. Yes, yo, what's up, you know? What's up, G? Respect to G, respect to Francis Seaway, you know? Respect to Francis Seaway. Everybody that deal with the thing, identification style, you know? You check. Respect to Janice to Seaway, big up. Make a difference, dig deep and make a difference, like you say. Before we go, like I say, I want to know who, what's this? Yeah, the Jude Foundation. The kids that was a road trip to remember. The kids had fun. You know, respect due to G Mike. Respect due to Rodwell. You know what I mean? Sports minister for taking them out there and showing that anything is possible, you know. Some of the donation made by Miss Gilda. There she go. I want to say big up to Carl for keeping me in tune with what's going on all the while. There they go, having fun in the river. I think that's the best way to go right there, man. You know, with a picture of the kids from the river. So in Jam on a Saturday, and one love to come in. One love for check today. We'll be back on Tuesday. You can come in Tuesday, we'll see what's up. So on Tuesday we do a little preview thing. So Tuesday we'll come in and see. You know what I mean? Anyway, one love. Have a great weekend. Chat with you on Tuesday. Bless up. Right?